Uh, I go back to the presentation, to the scripture, and it said, God's kingdom belongs to people like these children. I assure you that whoever doesn't welcome God's kingdom like a child will never enter it. You heard my reflections on that. Just a reminder, our mission is protect, heal, and educate children and families so they can build better lives. And we believe all kids, regardless of what they look like or where they come from, deserve the same opportunity to reach their full potential. And we know that you're partners with us in that mission and that belief and those values. And just over the past year alone, looking at Grace's impact, our holiday gift drive, you were able to provide toys, clothes, and books so that 55 children in our Lake County programs experienced the joy of Christmas. You also provided through your Say Grace initiative $1,010 in gift cards to address food insecurity for the children and families and Kids Above All's care. Just think about the impact of COVID over the past year on our kids and families, and even more so than before, these needs, these basic essential needs, became very prominent, and so much was scarce, and you really stepped up on this front. So we are very thankful for that. For our kids in our group homes, ages 12 to 18, you provided weighted blankets for our teenagers, and this was really comforting and helpful to them. It's been a very difficult year, living in isolation, being disconnected from their friends at school, not being able to go out in the community as much. And then through the women's circle, boots, shoes, and jackets and coats for our Lake County families. Not to mention what you do with your offering consistently for Kids Above All. So the impact has just been so comprehensive. It's been so in-depth, and we are so grateful for that. And we say all the time at Kids Above All that gratitude is the heart of prayer. And I wanted to begin with this because this is the heart of our prayer at the beginning of this presentation, because we wouldn't be able to do what we're able to do without our partnership with you. So just to give you just kind of a sense, if you look like at Kids Above All, we're pretty comprehensive programming, but it's good to know where you see the largest number of kids being impacted right now as the ages 0 to 5. There's 855 kids. And then we have 6 to 12, 286, 13 to 18, 231, and 224 is 224. Now those are both young adults who are housing insecure, who are homeless, but also who are single parents. And then about 260, that's also families in our early childhood program as well, or who are benefiting from our home-based licensed daycare program. And then 31 to 55 years old, these are our foster parents, and 55 and plus, these are our providers who are providing daycare for our kids and families. So I want you to know some background on the race and ethnicity of the children and families in our care. 87% of the kids and families in our care are from Black and Brown communities. So we have about 47% are Latinx, and then we have about 40% from the Black community. And so that's important to know that, because so much of what we're working to do right now, we recently hired a diversity, equity, and inclusion manager, Kids Above All. We have a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee of the board. We have a DEI task force within the agency. So really working to meet the needs of our kids and families where they're at, to be as culturally intelligent and as impactful as we possibly can be, to make sure that we're not just presenting or providing a solution to them that we think is best for them. It's we're working in concert with them and saying, what are your needs? What are your challenges? How can we best support you? Our impact for in fiscal year 20, we helped 674 children be ready for kindergarten through our early education program. These are kids who are living in poverty. These are kids who have been marginalized. 346 children found supportive homes through our foster care and adoption programs. That means placing kids temporarily in foster care, or kids who are permanently adopted and found permanent guardianship. So we're happy and we're pleased to see those results, but we can always do better. We have 188 young people receive trauma-informed counseling to help them heal from abuse and neglect. One thing that may not often be raised when we're talking about kids who've suffered through trauma is when kids come into the child welfare system, they are often misdiagnosed and overprescribed medication. And they're not given a chance to heal in a very healthy way, in a very organic way, in a very intentional way. And so what we've done is to make sure that our kids have other options for healing. For example, we have a writing workshop right now at our group homes. We have an art therapy. We have mindfulness. We have yoga. We have equine therapy that's going to be open up. We have adventure therapy for our kids to go outdoors and do everything from climbing walls and zip lines and fishing and activities that are involved each and every day. Because kids release trauma, as you can see this oftentimes in the suburban area, where you'll see, for example, at a local community center, there's so many different options for kids to be actively involved. We want to provide the same for our kids. And we've recognized that kids store trauma in their bodies, right? And so if you're talking to them about trauma, often for them, they don't have the words for it. They don't have the words, and it forces them on occasion to relive that trauma that they don't have the words to articulate. So this is what we're doing. We're helping them to heal through our experiential therapeutic initiative. 64 kids and parents who've lost a family member to homicide participated in Camp Sheila to assist them on their healing journey. We've taken over a grief camp for kids who've lost their family members to homicide. 99% of the kids lost their family members to gun violence. 50 teens and young adults were housed through our group homes and our merge programs. So we are seeing the impact of helping kids who are homeless, teenagers and young adults. There's our programs, just to give you a quick refresher, our doula services. This is helping pregnant moms be able to be ready to have their children, and making sure that they understand the importance of once their child is born, that they're interacting with them, that they're talking with them, that they're working on developmental activities. And so we've grown this program. In early childhood, that's our program. We're helping kids who are make sure that their kids who are living in poverty reach developmental milestones and realize their full potential. Foster care, this is, I think we've talked about this previously in the presentation. We make sure a child who suffered through abuse and neglect has a safe place to live. Again, circling back to our mission to protect kids first and foremost. Our group homes, these are kids who have been in multiple placements and who are ages 12 to 18. It hasn't worked out in foster homes. Many of them have been in 5 placements. 90% do not have a relationship with a biological family member. On average, they have gone through 6 adverse childhood experiences. The more adverse childhood experiences you have, the less the length of your lifespan is. So family childcare homes, these are licensed daycare providers that provides daycare for parents who are going to work, going to school. We have our merge program for homeless young adults, Camp Sheila, which I referred to, our counseling program, and Becoming Me is a brand new initiative we're providing for kids in foster care who've had involvement with the criminal justice system, with a support group, a supportive counseling, and coming together and getting the kind of therapeutic services that they need to be able to get on to the next stage in their life. So this is a new program. It's supported by Cook County, the Justice Advisory Council. So I want to talk about, in particular, Kids Above All in Lake County, because this is some really exciting partnerships that we've engaged in, and our services are growing significantly in the Lake County area. This is who we serve in Lake County. And you'll see that 208 kids ages 0 to 5, that's early childhood. 106, 6 to 12, these are kids in our family child care homes project. And then you'll see the ages 17 and 19 to 24. That's our new program that I'll be talking about for homeless young adults in the Lake County area. And then 31 to 54 and 25 to 30. This is a mixture of our parents who are utilizing our family child care homes. This is licensed daycare providers where they can send the kids to daycare, or the parents who are in our program for our early childhood program. That's why we call it a parent empowerment program in early childhood, because we want to make sure the parents are working with kids to make sure they reach developmental achievement. So you'll see our breakdown, and you'll find this particularly interesting, the ethnicities that we have here. The greatest percentage of people that we are impacting in Lake County are people from Latinx communities. Next, you see it's white, and then black, and then no data, and that means we're seeking to collect that. Sometimes it's hard to get because people, they may be monolingual or they're bilingual, or people may not have the same level of engagement as other folks, but that's something they're working to develop. The Lake County Heroes Impact last year, 216 children were in a safe, education-focused in-home daycare. so that their parents could go to work, go to school, and provide for their family. 111 children achieved developmental milestones, so they're ready to succeed in school. 20 pregnant moms and infants had the information, resources, and support they need to have a happy, healthy start to life. And 17 youth and parents received counseling to help them heal from trauma. This is a brand new initiative that we have in Lake County, where we're providing counseling for our children and families in our early childhood programming. So all in, 593 children and families' lives made better in Lake County. Our Lake County programs, it's similar to what we offer in general, but it's mainly focused on early childhood. It's doula, it's home visiting, it's family child care homes, and counseling in particular for parents and children in our early childhood program. So what's next in Lake County? We received support from Department of Human Services to expand our quality child care in licensed daycare homes by 75 kids in Lake County. In particular, we have a heightened focus in the North Chicago area on that front. Our doula program, we're ensuring that 20 more pregnant mothers and infants have the essentials they need to start their lives together. Our Lake County therapy program, we're offering group therapy programs for families who've been impacted by COVID-19 and have a child with developmental challenges. We have bilingual therapists. We're making sure we're meeting the needs of our children and families where they're at, and we're making cultural connections, which is essential. And then we just received word that we got a grant from Housing and Urban Development for make sure that we're able to provide transitional housing for unhoused young adults in Lake County, ages 18 to 24. So lots going on. And so we're really pleased to announce this partnership that we've developed in Lake County with the North Chicago School District. So I met John Price, who's a wonderful human being, through the Erickson Institute, has this fellows program. And we were talking about our respective initiatives and what we were working on. And he said, it's a building out there. I have several buildings that are not occupied, and I'll get to that soon because it's really, really exciting. But he said, we're really trying to make sure that kids, once they enter in our care at pre-K, that they're as ready as they possibly can be. So here's the rub, and I want you to be thinking about this. Oftentimes with family child care homes, it's just licensed daycare. But there is not evidence-based curriculum to make sure that kids are going to be kindergarten ready when they start school. So we said, why don't we come together on an initiative that's going to not just build community capacity, increase economic opportunities, because these licensed daycare providers are small family-run businesses. So we have about 28 of these family-run businesses in our network right now, and we impact about 170 kids. But I said to John, and we talked to each other, we said, why don't we partner so we can identify licensed and unlicensed providers in North Chicago and make sure that we provide these providers with a curriculum and supports, help them understand better how to run a business, make sure they're accredited, make sure they're getting the equipment that they need, make sure they're getting the training they need, mental health consultation, with the idea in mind that this isn't just about daycare, right? This is about preparing kids to be successful in life and starting very early on with them. So we're so excited about that. We've recently received close to $75,000 of venture money to get this started. Department of Human Services said, Dan, we'll give you $25,000 to start. The Homes for Children Foundation has provided another $25,000, and John has received $25,000 from the Staines and Gorder Foundation. So we're working together on this initiative because in North Chicago, 75% of children ages 0 to 5 are not ready to succeed in kindergarten. So we have this plan that over 9 years period of time, we're going to make sure we close that gap so 100% of kids in North Chicago are going to be kindergarten ready. So in the program, what we're talking about, we want to improve the transition from early care to the K-12 school system through a network of 50 family child care providers. Right now, we have 27. That's going to add, and it's a 2-year initiative, it's going to add 22 to 23 new licensed home-based daycare providers who use an evidence-based curriculum. We're going to track the progress of children from birth to kindergarten with information shared across both systems. We're going to provide parents quality care and an evidence-based curriculum for their children. So parents have not only do they have options for care, but they have resources for their children, and their kids are learning. And develop a model, and this is what's really, really exciting, that's scalable and replicatable for other communities. We have a collaborative right now of funders that we're making a presentation about this, because we want to take this and grow this and make sure other communities are able to utilize this same model. So as I mentioned before, we've received support from Department of Human Services, and they said, can you grow this by 150 kids? So we've separated it out by 75 children that we're seeking to grow in this fiscal year, and 75 in the next fiscal year alone in this program. So the other thing that we talked about, and we said, well, what if we came together? Our first leg of the stool was this partnership and getting all these family-run licensed daycare homes in a network, right? And providing them with all the support they need, and the nurturing they need, and get the accreditation they needed so they can help kids. I said, well, what if then we were able to track kids involved in that program and families and come together in one entity, an early learning center. So we had discussed, we went through North Chicago, and John has a building there, and we've identified this as a site, and we've made this presentation to the state of Illinois to develop an early learning center. And at that learning center, it's going to house Kids Above All's doula services, our early childhood program, that's our home visiting program, which I've talked to you about, our family childcare homes, parent-child intervention therapy. We also have a partnership with the Erickson Institute that is going to measure and monitor outcomes and be able to share that. We have experts in quality design, transform communities with the architects for this. We also, which I don't mention here, have a partnership with Illinois Facilities Fund that is going to help us source capital for this. And what North Chicago School District is, they're going to have a 3 to 5 year old pre-K school. So imagine this, from the time a child is born till the time they're in pre-K, we are providing them with support and nurturing in the education and the curriculum that families need in order to see their kids reach these developmental milestones. I can't emphasize enough to you how essential this is, because one of the things we realized in discussing with some of our partners in the city of Chicago, a lot of work is done in the 0-3 space, but then when kids are shifted to 4 to 5, organizations that do this this work in 0 to 3 and in Chicago Public Schools, that information is not shared. That relation has not been solidified. So when John Price and I have talked about this, is like, this is our opportunity to share information about kids since the time they entered the world, right? Getting back to the gospel here today, and thinking about what are we doing for our kids to place their interest above everything else. So starting early on. So when you think about this, I've talked about our programs. It's $2,500 per year per family in early childhood. It is the wisest, most significant investment that we can make. Not to take anything away from what we're doing in all these programs, but you've seen the growth in the slide that I showed you, how much our program is growing, like 0 to 5. That's 208. That's the biggest bulk in Lake County. And if you look, I'm going to come back. You see that our growth has been so significant, 0 to 5, decline ages. The more we do this on the front end, the more, and this is really key to remember here, the more families stay together. Families stay together. Kids realize their full potential. I'll tell you a quick story, which I think is very important. Remember, there's a woman in our program, and she reached out because she was referred, and she said, the problem that I'm having with my child is I really don't think he's that smart. And he's not talking. He's not able to move his arm, his right arm. And so we said, well, wait a second. We don't know that. He's very young. I think he was 2 at the time. And so we provided support where someone was coming into the home, having the mom make sure. So you got to talk to your child. You got to make sure you're talking and doing these activities. And that I'm going to come to to show you kind of like through the screen right now. You there? So there's an exercise, and you would take kind of like a block, and the child would move the block here to there. And while the mom was talking, to this little boy, and he started to build up his arm strength, and his arm was moving. And the more she talked to him, the more she read to him, he started to talk. Wouldn't you know it, that this little boy right now got straight A's in first grade last year. All that work that was done, and the mom was struggling. And she was struggling in the sense that I don't think he's smart, and she was irritated, and she was having difficulty. And this family is together, right? This boy is growing. He's realizing his full potential. So I wanted to give you an update on everything that's been going on, because it is so exciting to see the growth. You know, as an organization over the past 5 years, we have, this is just one measure. We've grown from a $10 million enterprise to a $15 million enterprise. And we've added several hundred children and families that we're impacting each year, and really focusing on early childhood and this clinical support, and expanding housing for homeless teenagers and young adults. And you're a part of that story. You're a part of our effort and our mission each and every day. And one bit of exciting news is we're opening up this warehouse that we received $500,000 for, which is going to be called the Better Life Distribution Center. And it's $500,000. We're opening it up, and we're going to be able to provide supplies for our kids and families. Everything from diapers, cribs, mattresses, clothing, learning activities, books, bicycles, baby food, formula, whatever children and families need. So there's a lot that's happening at Kids Above All. It's very exciting to be a part of it. I was really pleased that Cheryl had invited me today, and because she's so much a part of what we do each and every day as a part of our board of directors, and it's been so encouraging to me in my role and supportive. But we have a great team and a great organization, and we have great supporters like you, which have allowed us to get to the next level as an organization. So I wanted to thank you. I want to thank Pastor Purcell for the opportunity to present here today, be able to be graced by all of you on this Sunday, and to really talk about what we're doing, what we're attempting to achieve, the growth that we're seeing, and then how we can work more together in the future to build better lives for children and families. Thank you very much.